Because we need to understand, while we are trying to manipulate the public of St. Martin, we are offering seemingly, according to the school children, bribes to certain people so they can jump and join with the Fabulous Seven, because the Magnificent Eight became the Fabulous Seven. One gone. So where do we go from here? The governor's office seems to be on a rampage on its own. The governor was informed by the present coalition, new coalition, what do you call them, the 2x4 coalition, that they have a majority of 8 and that they're ready for formateur, informateur, whatever. What happens now is an informateur, 2 informateurs are appointed, 2 people with credibility. It's not an issue about the informateurs. What becomes an issue is when suddenly you read what the informateurs have to do. And they have to talk to everybody, every entity and business in this country to see if they believe that the present coalition that is to become government can suffice and can handle the public's finances and can handle this and can handle that. And then I suddenly get the impression that we are on a very, very slippery slope now. Because the governor's office is as tinted as they come. That is the rainbow up there. Check the National Alliance flag and you'll see it up there flappering over his office. Yes, Mr. Governor. In my opinion, you are as tinted as they come. But like the school children say, they put you there, so you better dance to their tunes. And that's the unfortunate part. Because we keep talking about this democracy. Democracy. There is no democracy. In the Netherlands, the king had no say in the whole formation. Even the appointment of the informateurs was not done by the king. It was done by the largest parties. Now, here, had the NA said, we are going to appoint an informateur because we are the largest party, that was their God-given right. But for the governor to do so, and then I know what I can say, oh, our law is from 1960, man. Change that nonsense. We became country in 2010. So we can make, because the governor's role is not a political role. While he forms part of the government in the Constitution, he has no say. This is the part of signing the national ordinances, signing laws. But this governor on convenience has decided that when something is tendered publicly, it doesn't need to be signed. The Honorable Dr. Eugene Holliday, the former governor, had it as policy and practice. Because according to him, it was the law, Article 47 of the financial contability proceedings. It was so that every tender that was above $50,000, 50,000 guilders for goods or 150,000 guilders for projects needed to be vetted by him. You see, how is it possible that 2 governors have contradictory policies? Nothing changed. But we just gone from one to the next, and then they tell you, oh, because I didn't understand the law for 12 years. Really? Is that the best, dumbest, stupidest thing you could tell people? You all didn't understand the law?
RBC, we know the roles you have to play can change quickly. Whether it's a homeowner, a new parent, today's head chef, salesperson of the month, or the family chauffeur. Whatever life asks you to be, RBC is a bank for all of you.
Your social and health insurance is your social and health insurances.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social and health insurances.
President Louis Musselton and President of the Water and Sanitation Establishment of Saint Martin, EEASM, Rafael Sanchez, invited the press to present the project to improve the production of drinking water in Saint Martin. Also present was Territorial Director of SAR Saint Martin, Melissa Nucala, General Director of EEASM, Sebastien Galligo, and Regional Director of SAR Antille, Nicolas Touzon. This press conference also marked the official launch of the project to extend the Gallows Bay drinking water production plant.
Well, this morning, a press conference has been scheduled to present a new plan of action in regards to the water situation. I know, and we are aware that the people of the territory have been complaining over a period of time about the shortage in the water production and the fact that there was no water at their home over a period of time, 2 or 3 days of the time. And it's become a very much disgusting situation. So tired of that situation, which is something that we met as we arrived in office, we have decided now that it's time to deal with this matter head on. In the sense that firstly, we sit down with our counterparts in Great Bay, and we know that GB has a higher capacity, production capacity than us. So we signed a convention with the government and the GB to sell us water whenever there's an emergency situation that occurs on the northern side of the island. That has been concluded. You hear the technician said what needs to be done to bring that connection. So whenever we are faced, and let's God forbid that it's not too often that we are faced with a situation where we would have to rely on them to assist us in water production. But in the event, you're making sure that the necessary measures are put in place to provide water on the other side. Secondly, I was told, and this is why today we are here to bring the whole new project on the front line, that the company in Gallows Bay, the production company in Gallows Bay, has a short lifespan. Everything is old. Okay, so we now have to consider a new production plant. Okay, so the whole discussion is around the new distribution plant. But in addition to the distribution, or parallel to the distribution plant, we have to look at the whole pipelines that is now outdated. So they do have to be reviewed or replaced. So the effort would be, one, to construct that new production plant, and two, remove or repair, drastically the pipeline. So this would run us to the tune of 40 to 100 million euros. So my idea is to go to Brussels, go to Paris during February, March month to secure finances for this investment that is so urgent and very much needed to guarantee water production on the island. So this is what we're here to do, present the phase of it. I was pleased to be here with the manager of the company that is in charge of the whole operation of the water production, and of course with Saul, who has a contract with us to produce and distribute water. So we are discussing the whole situation with them, and there's a clear understanding that we all have to hold hands and work towards this new plan in the near future. So that's where we are today, and I'm hoping that you would get together with all the other additional teams or technicians who have to be connected somewhere to this project to make sure it becomes a reality, that our people wouldn't have to live this nightmare ever again.
Last week, the official signing of an agreement between the Collectivité of Saint-Martin and the Association of Chefs Restaurateurs of Saint-Martin, ACR-SXM, was held at a brief press conference with Vice President Alan Richardson and President of the ACR-SXM, Alan Watt, accompanied by Vice Presidents Dominique Louisi and Michel Petit. This tailor-made recognition aims to highlight and celebrate gastronomy professionals, emphasizing the shared commitment of the collectivité and its association to position Saint-Martin as an exceptional gastronomic destination.
Well, we just witnessed the signing of a convention or contract, basically between the Collectivité of Saint-Martin and the Association Titres Restaurateurs de Saint-Martin. And this convention or contract is in prolongation of what the Territorial Council validated on the 4th of December. And this is part also of the process in our tourism code, where it exists at the national level, this title where chiefs, chefs, are able to have this, it's not a qualification, but it's a title, once they are able to meet all of the criteria of what you call a cahier de charge. And the objective of this cahier de charge is in terms of the quality, is in terms also of the quality of the material, the food, the way it is worked, all of the different, let's say, elements in terms of the equipment of the kitchen and of the way it is served. So it's really the objective to reach to a higher standard for our restaurant and restaurateurs. And the fact that the national title was prepared exclusively for metropolitan France, it was not permitting to meet our local reality. So we have decided to modify and adapt that national standard, still remaining as rigorous as needed, but making it meet the needs of St. Martin. And any chef, any restaurateur can embark and work with the association and embark to be able to operate and meet that standard, so that on this island, as I've said it, we have the name and the image also of being the capital of gastronomy of the Caribbean. We want to make sure that that remains a reality. So we are making sure that all of our restaurateurs and all those who are willing to embark in that be able to meet that standard and take it to the level where it becomes undisputable that St. Martin is indeed the culinary or gastronomic capital of the world. That's the objective.
The Anjojones-led government says measures are being looked at to curb the level of violence in society. Speaking at the opening of the Jamaica Stock Exchange's 19th Regional Investments and Capital Markets Conference on Tuesday night, the Prime Minister said violence is one which is harder to manage rather than crime. He says while crime can be tackled via policing, not so for violence. He says it eats away at the country's economic growth.
We have to turn our economic resources to deal with violence, because violence has a significant drag effect on our economy.
Now, this correlates to the latest business and consumer indices, which revealed that crime continues to be a major issue facing the country.
70% volunteered that the big issue, the most critical issue facing the country at this time, not surprising, is crime and violence. But note that this is 12 percentage points more than it was in third quarter of 2023. What do you anticipate will happen over the next 12 months? And this is probably even more worrying because 60%, against a background where 70% believe that crime and violence is the most critical issue facing the country, 60% of those persons interviewed anticipate that it will get worse over the next year.
Despite those facts, Mr. Holness notes that crime figures in the country continue to trend downwards.
The first 22 days of 2024, murders are down 21% relative to the first 22 days of 2023. All serious crimes, homicides, shootings, rape, robbery, and break-ins are down 10.7%. This is the lowest in 22 years. So we're definitely having an impact on crime. Where we need to now start to have an even bigger impact is on this social phenomenon, this public health crisis of violence.
Your social and health insurance is your social and health insurances.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social and health insurances.
At RBC, we know the roles you have to play can change quickly. Whether it's a homeowner, a new parent, today's head chef, salesperson of the month, or the family chauffeur. Whatever life asks you to be, RBC is a bank for all of you.
Love being here.
What was it like to be with Donald Trump in that courtroom? He did not attend your first trial, but he was there when it came down to the money and what it would cost him. You hadn't seen him since 1996.
I hadn't seen him since he assaulted me in the dressing room. And preparing to see him was terrifying. The days leading up, as Robbie brought me around stronger and stronger, it was so, I hadn't slept, I hadn't eaten. I couldn't think. I lost my language when she was trying to prepare me to go to do testimony in front of Donald Trump. And then when we were in the courtroom and Robbie went to the lectern, she said, "Good morning, Eugene. Please state your name and spell it for the jury, for the court." And there he was, and he was nothing. He was just no power. He was zero. I was flabbergasted. And from then we just sailed through. She brought me in. She said, "Say your name." And I just looked at Robbie, saw he was nothing, and it came up from there. Yes, I had been prepared for the worst force, on the earth today, the most powerful, the most effective, the most money, the richest, the most, And there he is, he's nothing.
Why?
It's just the people around him who give him the power. It's the emperor without clothes. It's Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tale. People just gave him clothes when he wasn't wearing any. Remember the fairy tale? So that's Donald Trump.
Robbie, you're giving your closing argument, and Donald Trump gets up and he walks out. And I'm not sure if you could see him out of the periphery, right? I think your back was to him. But what did you think when you learned that he walked out?
Yeah, so it's true. I didn't see him at all because I was facing the jury and he was to my left. But the judge said something. He told the whole courtroom that he'd gotten up and left and walked out. And I thought to myself, whoa, like in a case about whether you can follow the rules or not, and you can not be a bully, not following the rules and acting like a bully is not a good move. So I thought to myself, okay, that's just going to give us more money, honestly.
You got awarded over $83 million from this jury. Trump's obviously appealing. He has the right to do that. Big question over the next couple of weeks, is he going to get a bond for that $83 million? If he doesn't, when could your client see that money or some of it?
So he has two choices. He either has to post a bond, it's called an appellate bond, which requires him to put down 20%, or he has to deposit, which is what he did for the first verdict, the entire amount with the court. So 83 plus 9%, so call it $89 million. If he can't do either of those, then we can start collecting right now, and we will, for sure.
Do you believe he can do either of those?
I don't know. He didn't get a bond last time, so maybe he's going to try to deposit the funds. I don't know what he'll do.
Eugene, one of the paradoxical is probably the best word I can put it, dynamics of this moment for him, for the former president and his legal troubles has been politically, he only seems to get more powerful within the Republican Party. I understand you've been focused on the trial, but do you see that? Do you have concerns, not based on your trial specifically, but just about the fact that this person who you've stared down in a courtroom has only gotten more powerful as all of this has played out, and you've won repeatedly in these cases?
It is a paradox. For him, the courtroom was not a courtroom to him. It was a campaign stop. That was clear. So we had two different objectives. Ours was to win a case. His was to win voters. We'll see how that plays out, that he's using me to win voters. Sexual assault. A man found liable for sexual assault is using the woman he sexually assaulted to get votes.
It's away! Big catch! Big wicket! Wow, what about this? He's got six back.
What a match we've got on our hands here. Shamar Joseph.
Expecting that one.
Little touch there, a little underhand was there.
He's gone.
Nathan Lyon's on his way. He's walking off. And Ozuri Joseph does make amends. De Silva does the deed and... He's got him! He's got him! And he's off! The West Indies have created the most amazing thing here in the world of cricket. They are all running around the Gabba like you won't believe. Josh Hazelwood is cast at the other end.
24-year-old Guyanese fast bowler Shamar Joseph has signed for Pakistani Super League side Peshawar Zalmi. Joseph produced an unforgettable spell of fast bowling to lead the Windies to victory over Australia at the Gabba to level their two-match test series 1-1 on Sunday's fourth day of the second test. He took 7 wickets in the spell to end with 8 for the match, as West Indies secured their first test victory in Australia in 27 years, winning by 8 runs. Joseph, who was playing his debut series, grabbed a total of 13 wickets across the 2 matches and was named player of the match and the series. The 24-year-old was keen to point out in his post-match press conference on Sunday that he is committed to playing test cricket for the Windies.
My dream. I must say, to play test cricket for the West Indies. I'm actually live here and I'm not afraid to say this. There will be times that T20 might come around, test cricket will be there. And I will say this live, I would always be available to play for the West Indies, no matter how much money it takes or come towards me. So I will always be here to play test cricket.